Hello world, welcome to the stream. Welcome to Coding a Roguelike in C, a stream where we are building a complete classic ASCII roguelike using the C programming language. And last stream, let's bring up the game real quick so we can kind of state of the game. So this is our current state of the game. You remember last stream we did some UI refactoring. We were kind of restructuring how we handled the different views in our game system. So right now the screen that you're looking at has 3 different views on it. We've got the actual game view, the map, which is this upper portion of the screen. We have a stats view down here, and then we've got this to the right of it. This is the section where the message log goes. Right now the message log is empty because no interesting events have happened, but once we hit this goblin, we'll start filling it up. And so we were refactoring it, kind of shifting things around, and managed to get it back to a working state with much cleaner code. That said, off stream, I went through a major refactoring of the entire UI system. And I'm going to walk quickly through that. So we used to include 2 different files in this system. We had the console file, and then we had a separate UI file, and it was as we got further into development, those 2 files, the code in those files seemed to blend closer and closer into a single kind of UI system. So what I did over the weekend was sat down for an hour or so and actually merged those 2 files, only the relevant bits. I threw away the irrelevant code. There was some of that. I'll talk about that in a second. And merged the good stuff from both of those files, the console file and the UI. And in doing so, also renamed all of the functions and the types so that they were internally, the naming conventions were consistent with the rest of the application. So this is what we ended up with. We have our UI.c, and so we've defined all at the top of the file. We've defined different types that we're going to be using from the UI system. Remember, we've got some console types, a console cell, concept of a console font, and then the console itself. And then we've got several UI types so far. You remember last time we defined the concept of the UI screen, and then the screen contains views, a collection of views. So each view has its own console, so it's basically its own pixel buffer, and then a rectangle that describes how that fits on the main screen, and then a function to render itself to the screen. So then I basically just went through and cleaned everything up. We're grouping our UI functions together. They all have consistent naming schemes. And then our console functions, the same thing. Went through, and everything starts with the word, console_clear, console destroy, console new. And then we have several utility functions that don't really fit into one of the other categories, so this is kind of the hodgepodge section. Functions that aren't used by like the console system or you, but just in a secondary fashion. So we've got all the definitions up here, and then all of the implementation details down below. And so we ripped out the calls, or the inclusions of the PT_console and PT_UI, and replaced it with the single my file. And I think I'm much happier with how the code looks now. I'm kind of having the different naming conventions and the code kind of all over the place. It was a bit unsettling. So now things are kind of rearranged better, and so we can now make some forward progress. So I think tonight, so we've got the concept of views, and a screen contains several views. So I think what we want to do is keep running with that concept, and have the idea of implement something called the active view, which is basically going to be, we're going to be taking the main game screen has 3 different views that are, consistently displayed. However, we're going to need to pop up overlay views or like menuing systems or that sort of thing at various points in the game, and we're going to need a way to determine which view should get the input from the user. Because if we're displaying an inventory screen on top, as the topmost view, we don't want the keyboard input to be controlling the player back on the map view and moving him around the map. We want to redirect that input to the view that is expecting it. So what we're going to do, let's start. And we might want just call it start with by state, basically, I guess, because we've got in the we've got the concept of its world state within the game. We're also going to have the concept of view by state. And maybe, so right now in our main loop, I believe we're just setting the visible screen. Here we go. We just set this variable active screen to null. I think we should make active screen. I even have a to-do here. Move this somewhere else. So I think the appropriate place for the active screen would be in state. So let's just copy it. It's active screen. And then we're also going to do UI. A lot of environments call the view that gets the input said to have focus. So we could call it the focus view. Let's just call it active view. I think that's fine. So let's write the code. Let's write the calling code so that we can see how we might want to use this API. So what we'll do, we'll call it do we want this to be, let's see, we're in our main. This is going to be a top level. We've got world state in it here. Set active screen to in-game screen. Well, I guess we could just pick one way to do it and then change it if we find that it doesn't work out or it's suboptimal. Let's see. Pull this in-game screen, and then we'll do active view. It's going to be what? We're going to call it, it's going to be our map view, right? First. It's down here. This goes away. I feel like we're going to want eventually, so these calls all set up our in-game screen. So we're going to want to wrap a function around this. Let's create a new self some notes. How did I write these notes? So I think what I'd like is the set up each screen as its own file. So let's create a new one. Let's call this. Let's call this, this is going to be our in-game screen. Starting this on. So what we want to do is we want to copy all of these. Wrap this in a function, so we'll do it. called setup. We can call it, let's see, screen. Game screen. I'm wondering if it should, and I want to call this. Let's see. Call it screen in game. I'll add one for like screen launch, screen underscore launch, screen underscore game over, yeah, that sort of thing. So maybe we just want to show. Screen init. We hand it the UI state. We could. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's do alright, we're gonna do UI state. I have to allocate this on the heap because I want to be able to change it directly. Not gonna want show the in screen. So we'll do screen show. And we will pass it the UI state. UI state. Want to update this here. It's the last thing we can do. State active screen will be in-game screen, and on that screen the active will be the map view. That'll be the thing that takes the input, I guess. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Because what I'd ultimately like to do is I'm handling these different events. We'll have certain globals, but like up, down, left, right, Z, all of these are going to be sent to the active screen and the active view. So what I'd like to do is be able to say, send this event to that screen, to the active screen, and then have the screen figure out what the active view is and handle it, so that we'd basically have a screen handle event. Might have to think some more on this. Is that the best way to do it? Then we this UI state, just keep track of the active screen, and the screen could be responsible for keeping track of its active view. Which seems cleaner.
Try to forget that you were here. Some part of me wants to disappear with you. My soul and all that I could afford. Slowly gonna fall into what you explore.
Did this. Screen showing game, and then this would actually return screen. No, but it would actually take screen, game screen, active. Turn the in-game screen. Let's try this. Okay, so we got screen show in game. It's the internet. This is still our active screen. We set this to here. Should still build. It doesn't like differs in some indirection. Oh, you know what? I don't actually this file, so it doesn't know what the function is. So we'll add our screens here. So do include screen. Let's see. I keep hitting Alt S because I use a Mac all day long, so I keep trying to go for Command S, and now this machine. Also, memory is betraying me. Screen, where's that render function? Game map render. So these are all going to go into this, clean up this file, clean up our main file, which would be nice. So these are all going to go in here. So these are the actions. Again with the alt, killing me.
Find ourselves alone here, wanting to disappear, change our names, live on the sun, where every sound is clearer.
Because it's just something to do. I'm gonna the functions in alphabetical order. It's just my quirk, at least within the section. So this is going to be our so we got our show in game, and then we have our different render functions, which we point to. Send them in here. Okay. So it's going to complain, it's going to want to. Let's do.
Winds away around us, frozen in a moment. It just slips through the space in between our fingers. Never stop to wonder.
How are we gonna name these? So we'll just rename these guys. And so now we have that's the other thing we're missing. We have several, look at all these to-dos to move these elsewhere. So this is the elsewhere that we're moving to. That's my note, add a source file for each screen. There it is. So we're going to take these in our in-game screen as well. We can have all the same, all the defines that we need specific to this screen. We can have the render declares. We can have the rendering code all in its own source file and all kind of kept together and out of our main file, which is just messy. You know, I said all along that we were going to be cleaning it up eventually, and eventually is today. So right now we've got setting the active screen to the return value from screen showing game, which sets up all of the views and sets up the rendering functions for those views. Let's see, we've got a bunch of syntax errors. It doesn't know what a UI view is because it's declared after it. So we'll do this. Screen showing game, too few arguments for the call. Oh, we don't need this parameter. We don't have the concept of UI state anymore. And we're not sending it anything, so that should be good. Built. So let's give it a run and see what happens. Oh, seems like everything's still working, which is always a nice thing. We're surrounded by goblins. Gonna get killed. A bunch of stinking goblins. Oh, broke through. See if we can get this last guy. Yes, success. Nailed him. Are we getting killed by a lily serpent? Nope. Alright, pretty good run. Okay, so everything's still working. That's good. So let's check our list here. Overlays will be used for menus. I think we're just going to do overlays as a view. We're not always going to want to render it. Interesting. So there are views that we're not always going to want. Temporary. Our structure should support that. You can just pop them onto the list of views and then them when they're no longer necessary. All right. So we want to get this concept of an overlay put together before we go through, and we've done our in-game screen, but then we want to screen an end-game. So how are we going to do a proof of concept for our overlay? Let's add a command to respond to let's start building out what our inventory system would look like. So let's add a case where we're going to pop up the inventory. In this case, we're going to respond to the I key, which is a logical key to use for inventory. So this would be, and let's see. Let's just write a temporary function. We'll do this. Show menu play. Just to give it a call point. And we'll put I'm going to actually put the code in the in-game screen. And do So what are we going to want to do here? We're going to want to create a new view and like a new, it's just to kind of do a little bit of copy pasta here. So we'll do, let's see, overlay. And so this is the rectangle within the screen. So we can define some stuff here. What do we want to say? Make our inventory. Can kind of make the inventory stats and stuff like that. So we'll make it pretty wide. It'll be 40, and then inventory. Right. We'll let's see. 30? I don't know. Whatever. So our whole screen is 80. Hey, live tester, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hey, Sir Waffle. What text editor is this? This is Sublime Text, which is an excellent text editor, and it's one of the reasons I like it is that it's available on Windows and Mac, so I can basically have the same development environment no matter which computer I happen to be using at the time, because I'll switch back and forth. So our full screen in terms of cells is 80 by 45. So if we define the, let's see, 40 by 30, that seems pretty big. It might end up being bigger than we need, but it's a good start. So the overlay rect is going to be, this is in pixels, the overlay. So it's going to be inventory width, because each of our cells is 16 by 16 pixels. Overlay, it's terminals. Yeah, so this is our font, it'll be terminal. And then we're going to need a render function, so it's going to be render inventory view. We don't have IG views anymore, so what we're going to need is, let's see, show inventory overlay. If we want it part of this screen, we need to send in the screen. And in this case, we want it to be the topmost view. So we're actually going to need to send in, it's going to need to be list tail of our screen views list. So we want it inserted after the tail. So our render function, let's just take the let's just draw a rectangle for now. So it'll be the full width and height. Direct. We send it to the console, and then what? It's semi-transparent. Direct. What does it take? It takes the foreground color, and then the border width and border color. So our border width is gonna be 0 right now. So I guess we could give it the border width. See what that looks like. Yeah, let's bump it up to 1. Let's build this and see what happens. Show inventory overlay, too few arguments. So yeah, show inventory overlay we decided it would take the UI screen, so it's 275. Show inventory overlay. It needs to take, well, we know it's the active screen. Alright, so we've got our game here. I'm going to show the overlay screen by hitting the I key right now. Okay. So, perfect. It showed the inventory screen. There's actually no way to hide the inventory screen now. We'll have to do that. But it did draw it on top. It's the topmost view now. So that's cool. So let's draw this. You can have constants for that as well. Inventory left. We'll start at 20 cells in. Start at like 7 cells from the top. Should probably redefine 16 to be should have a constant for that. Should be smart. Left. That'll be an off-stream refactor because that's boring. Alright, let's try that. So now it should be fairly centered. Perfect. Nice. Pretty awesome. Yeah. So the next thing is going to be we're going to want to direct. So we're handling in our screen files, we're handling the initialization and showing of the screen, we're handling the rendering of the various views on that screen. We're going to want to handle the input processing for that screen as well. I'm trying to think, I think I might have to do a little bit of thinking off stream about that, about the best way to kind of structure things, and so I think I'm gonna call it for tonight. kind of take a pause and think about the best way to process the keyboard input. We have the concept of the active screen, and within that screen, the active view. So basically, we need to figure out the best way to get the input from our main loop, which is this giant case statement, or it will end up being giant if we keep it all in one place. And basically, taking this and sending the fact that they pressed the key, they pressed the M key, or that they pressed up or a directional arrow. Figure out what the active view is, and send the input to that view and have that view process it. So I just need to think about the best way to do that. So I think I'm going to call it for this evening, but a shorter stream, but we did get some useful stuff done. Thanks for watching tonight. If you're interested in previous episodes, check out the archives on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter at PDCodes, and as usual, I will be uploading the commits to the GitHub repo, so you can check that out and play along at home. If you are interested in the next stream, please be sure to hit that follow button, and you'll get notified the next time I go live, which should be in the next couple days. So thanks for watching tonight, and I'll catch you next time.